Hey folks, Kip Erskine here, values-driven coaching. And in this video, I want to touch upon something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is a segment of communication called expectations management. Now, in the service delivery side, it's very, very important to ensure that you understand your clients' expectations and how do you manage expectations and how do you communicate those expectations and stay in alignment with their expectations. So one of the very first things that can be done, I just kind of touched upon it in this video, is communication and the frequency of communication. So as you start your relationship with any new client, it's important to understand what it is that you're actually doing business based upon. So what is the scope? What is the frequency? How frequent will you be seeing me and my crews, and how often will we be communicating any updates to you? And so how do we just stay in lockstep with our property management clients in such a way that alleviates their questions that they may have, and just assures them that they made the right decision by awarding business to you? So communication is key. How you stay in lockstep with them is, again, right from the onset, right from the very, very beginning of shaking hands and understanding that this is the new award, this is the new property, this is our new team, here's exactly how our service delivery and our service platform is going to unfold for you, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client. And any questions along the way that you thought you may, it might be looking like this, you can really address that right up front and say, actually, it looks like this because, and you fill in the blank. So expectations management starts from the very onset of the relationship. How do you elevate your status from a lowly vendor to a trusted service partner is going to be in the way you manage expectations. Another thing that you can do in that expectations management realm is any changes in the program that resulted in an update, or a new event happened within a tenant suite that the property manager may or may not have known about, that you can effectively communicate and said that we've already taken care of this. It looks like this is at no cost to you, and here's how we've adjusted our service platform to ensure that this issue gets resolved. They're happy, you're informed, and you've just now elevated their ability to trust you and to give you more business. Now, in the absence of those types of updates, property managers will start filling in that void with whatever story they need to tell themselves that says, I wonder what my cleaning company is up to. I wonder what that team is actually doing right now. I haven't heard from them in a while, and I wonder if they're spread too thin or they're just not being as responsive as I was expecting. I should have seen them by now. And so all these voids, all these question marks, all these gaps in delivery actually create an opportunity for them to fill that void with a story of their own, true or not true. So your ability to provide frequent updates that fills that void that said the reason why we've not been here, or you can expect to receive such communication about these particular updates with this type of frequency, and that therefore you'll always know that we're on your team, we're on your side, we've got your back. And that alleviates a lot of question, alleviates a lot of not just question, but stories that they will tell themselves and maybe even communicate to others. And it's usually not good. The absence of communication usually results in something unexpected to the service provider because we weren't there with the frequency that they were expecting. And their expectations may not be written, they may not even be expressed, but they are there nonetheless. And so to get in front of them then it's wise to be proactive with your communications and get a cadence going to where your clients can actually appreciate the update and thank you for the update, and just keeping them informed all along the way will go miles toward elevating your status in this industry. Another thing is called scope versus scope creep. We all know what scope creep is. It's that little pesky, could you just do a little extra that may not be in the scope, but that really will take care of an issue for me. And at very, first blush, the knee-jerk reaction is to always oblige and say, absolutely, we can take care of that for you, and that will be at no additional charge. It depends what it is, of course. Now, however, if that task is actually somewhat sizable and then the frequency gets put in, it says we're going to need to be doing this once a week, and then all of a sudden it becomes part of, could you just handle that daily? Well, now that's expanded the scope, and it's actually put a burden on your cleaning crew, whether it's day or night or just one-offs, that's saying that we didn't account for that in our program to maintain these particular facilities within this given period of time with this amount of staff. And so you could end up breaking your model and getting pushback and resistance internally from your team that said, you know what, they've stepped over the line. So how do you define those scope creep lines that have been crossed in a way that helps manage expectations of your customer, that says, we hear you. We absolutely hear you. I do need to revisit the actual scope that you and I agreed to from the onset, and that we've been communicating and delivering on that all the way through. This one actually crosses the efficiency line and the effectiveness line in such a degree that it burdens personnel. Now, we don't want to burden you. We want to take care of it for you. However, we want to be reasonable with respect to managing that expectation that you have that adds an additional task to our scope. And we can formalize this in our agreement if this is the new normal going forward. And so be very, very diligent about what is in your scope, what you are obliged to do, because very often you'll get the younger, more, perhaps more aggressive, maybe not aggressive, but more direct assistant property managers who take their clipboards very, very seriously, and who take the scope with the clipboard and say, well, this is what's in the agreement. I'm just trying to do my job. How come what's in the agreement is not being delivered? And so sometimes those are tough conversations, especially if they're using an old scope. So be mindful of the scope that you have in your agreements. Be mindful of the expectations that have been put in print and that you have agreed to. And any deviations from those, they should be visited with some frequency. So if you have a paper trail, if you with your updates say, we've all agreed at this particular point in time, we're no longer going to be cleaning ashtrays, for example, something that we are no longer, even required to do, we will modify the scope that says that no longer is part of it. However, if you do have a burdensome part of the task of cleaning that is not part of the standard scope, then we'll need to identify that, incorporate that, adjust any price if need be, and then go on our merry way. So communication is key, front, middle, and at the end, should there be an end. Communicate often and with such frequency that your customer, your clients, your property managers actually can agree with. And for some, it's like, don't bother me, in which case, don't bother them. For others, it's like, oh, sure, thank you for the update. I can hit my delete button just as fast as anybody else, so I'm good with that. And for others, it's, no, I need it when I need it, and please don't deviate from the schedule, because I have to use that update to defend how I do my job to my superiors. So you never know the client's client and what the obligations and expectations are upstream. So be mindful of all of those. This is Gip Erskine, Values Driven Coaching. I really enjoy doing videos like this for you. I really enjoy elevating the status, your relevance within the industry. I love serving commercial real estate. I've been in commercial real estate all my adult life, and I'm here to try to help improve the model in any way I can. So if you would, please like this video, please subscribe if you have not, and share this with others that you feel can benefit from this message. I make these videos at, in my own free time during the weekends, and again, it shows my love for you and my love for this particular avenue in this conversation. So I'm going to keep it going. Please stay tuned for my next videos. We're all talking about service. We're all talking about commercial real estate. We're all talking about property managers and how we can best serve them. So in the spirit of giving to you, please give me a like and a comment, and I'll be certain to answer as many of them as I can. And there is really cool stuff in store. So please stay tuned and watch for more stuff. There's a little hint right here about what's coming next. So I look forward to the next one. Until next time, I thank you for your time.